All right, welcome to this Saturday edition. So this edition of Money Markets in Mayhem will be recorded on Saturday. I'll try and record one of these after the close every Saturday to kind of take you through the trades that we made during the week that I sent out updates for. I'll try and explain in a little bit more detail what's going on and why I made some of the decisions that I made. First things first, anytime you have a question, this is your opportunity. These are the episodes where you have an opportunity to ask all those pressing questions. I'm getting so many questions on Instagram and I can't keep up. So if you have a question, put it in the comments below and I will answer it as soon as possible. No question is a silly question. Cannot provide financial advice, but I will give all questions a crack at being answered. So put the questions in the comments below. All right, guys, we're here. We are at the end of the first week of the 10K challenge, and you can see here that the total that we've brought the portfolio to is $12,787.19. That is, we're about 30% up on our initial starting capital of 10K. The positions that we are currently holding, and I'm going to go through these one by one. What this basically means is we own the 2x Bitcoin ETF strategy. Its ticker code is BITX. The call option expires on July 18th, so we have like 6 days for that call option to play out. We've got a $65 strike. We've got 5 contracts. So the way that options work is each contract has 100 shares. So by controlling 5 contracts, you control 500 shares. So you can see how you get heaps more leverage using options. This was the cost basis. It was up 161% in the day already. My personal opinion is we get a correction into July 15th when you've got some options expiration dates. So you've got like some expiry happening in the market and some dealer hedging, all those kind of things, some of those calls and puts and things that the big institutions are doing to wrestle the market in either direction, they're gonna expire around July 15th. So we could see some volatility and we could see the market correct into July 15th. So why did I take this call? Well, you know what? The aim of this challenge is to entertain, and if Bitcoin moons again on the weekend, this is gonna do very well because it's such a short-term option. We've only got we only put $1,100 of our capital in, which keep in mind, guys, these are in USD and the account total is in AUD. So, you know, it's a bit of a moonshot, but there is a risk that this could go to zero. Absolutely. So we'll see how we go. Then I swapped out the Tesla options that were expiring at the end of July for these Rocket Lab October options, $42. So Rocket Lab closed at $39.16. And we've got options at $42. So when the options really start to pay out is when they exceed the strike price. So we've got until October this year for these options to exceed that strike price. So we took 3 contracts of that, which is 300 shares. Now the way it works, right? This is so effectively for $1,726, I'm controlling 300 shares of Rocket Lab. If you were to buy 300 shares of Rocket Lab at $39.16, that would cost you $11,748. So I've effectively got 10x leverage by trading the options. Now, my downside risk is everything, right? The options could go to zero, but my upside is much higher. So effectively, I'm controlling 300 shares for 1/10 of what it would cost me if I was actually to go and buy those shares. So you can see how the leverage really kicks in options. So this is Rocket Lab, October expiry, and that means basically expires 17th of October, 2025, $42 strike. So we wanted to get in and above $42. And then we've still got our September 19, $315 Tesla call. It's our biggest position. And we're gonna leave that run a little bit longer. Yeah, now it doesn't want to show me my positions. Every now and then these exchanges upgrade on weekends and they all go to shit. Sometimes your portfolio balance doesn't even show. It goes to shit. So anyway, we've got the BITX position, which is a moonshot. We're basically hoping that Bitcoin continues to run or those options can expire worthless. We've got the Tesla September position, so we've got time for that to play out. That strike is $315 and it's currently sitting at around $312, so we're doing all right on that one. We took profit on our MSTR. And again, I don't think that MSTR is necessarily going to go down or correct. It could, it should. If Bitcoin does, it will. But I think that if Bitcoin does continue to go up, we can do a little bit better on those BITX. So in order to make this as entertaining as possible and as stressful for me as possible, that's what we're doing, because we're trying to jack this account as quickly as we can. It's so much harder when you've got a little bit of money to play with and you're trying to make moves quickly. Like, I'm worried that I'm going to try and force things a little bit too fast. But anyway, that'll be the entertaining part. Let's just have a quick look at some charts. So obviously Bitcoin this week had that massive breakout arrow. Fantastic. We've been saying that if we break above 108, that the next target is that 114, and if we can get past that 114, that it's then price discovery. So what you probably see here is this is the candle that broke past the all-time high and it smashed through the 114. You'll probably see this retest, maybe even down to that 114 mark. We want to see that retest. It's a healthy retest. You kind of see it goes up, then it retests, and then it goes again, or here goes up, kind of comes back, retests, hits the trend line, and then continues further. So we don't mind if it comes back and hits that trend line. On the 6 hour, still good. The 1 hour is what I like to trade. So what I'm trading in the options account at the moment is retests of the 1 hour track line. When we retest that 1 hour track line, they're the setups that I'm like, I want to trade for this challenge, because in a bull market, I think they're the easiest and the best entries. So you can see ETH again. ETH has had that awesome weekly candle, that beautiful daily candle. If ETH holds above this 2.7 mark, we're off to the races. So I don't mind if it comes back and retests this and then goes again. So if you look at ETH on the 1 hour, it's come back towards that track line. ETH BTC, so on the weekly, it still hasn't broken above the track line, but next week that could happen. I'm of the opinion that from this point onwards, Ethereum will probably outperform Bitcoin. So if there's anyone out there that has been considering selling their ETH and putting it into Bitcoin, don't do it now. The time to do that was 12, 18 months ago. If you've still got the ETH now is not the time to be swapping into Bitcoin. I wouldn't be. I think ETH is set to outperform from here, although it's been a dog in the last 12 months, that's for sure. This is the BITX. This is that 2x ETF that we invested in. So it didn't quite hit the track line, so it was quite an aggressive entry that I took. In hindsight, if I was playing with my main portfolio, I probably wouldn't. Actually, I did take a small position in it in my main portfolio as well. But what I did is I had 100 IBIT options. I sold all 100 of those. I rolled, and they were expiry July and September. I rolled 50 of those contracts into October, and I kept the profit for the other 50, and then I put like a small amount of that profit into BITX, so it's just like a weekend flyer. Rocket Lab. All right, Rocket Lab has been an absolute demon, from $6.30 up to $39. This is like one of the strongest charts in equities at the moment. It's obviously doing really well because it's a competitor to SpaceX, and with all the shit going on with Elon, people are getting into it, but it's one of those meme names as well. And then, recently, the reason I entered that is because it's been tagging the track line. And so it seems to be building a base here on the 1 hour and getting ready for its next run higher. So I just think in the short term, rather than hold Tesla calls expiring at the end of this month, a bit of volatility, we're probably better to hold this strong trend. And we've got until October to be right. So even if it does correct back down to 35, we can add to it. Right? So I like this trade. And then you've got MSTR, which is obviously they're about to run again. It's had a strong couple of days. It did correct down to its track line and then took off again. If Bitcoin runs, this is going to run. Don't get me wrong. I just wanted to try and trade something else. And then you've got Bitcoin, and then you've got Tesla, which is, it's kind of like ETH's chart, to be honest. If you zoom out and look at the charts, it's a lot like ETH. Tesla is still below the track line on the daily. It's above the track line now on the 6 hour. I love the 6 hour because it shows all the after hours, and it's still way above the track line on the 1 hour. So while we still got green dots, no reason to exit those September calls at the moment. We've got plenty of time for that to play out, so we're going to let them run. Yeah, I'm not sure what else we can talk about. I just basically wanted to quickly go through everything with you guys. Unfortunately, I'm tired. I basically went out with some schoolmates from year 12 that I hadn't seen in years, and it was amazing how it felt like nothing had changed between them, and probably ended up going camping towards the end of the year. It was awesome. Got home at about 11, then I was wired, took me a while to get to sleep, and then I was up at 4 a.m. to start trading, so I haven't had much sleep. Frankie was a bit of a mess this morning, probably off the back of my energy and my vibes. and so I'm tired. So I'm gonna call it here. I'm not going to go into details. Your heads are probably spinning with everything that's happened so far this week. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to give you guys an opportunity. I will answer every single comment that you guys put in the comments about this week that's been. Yeah, I'm happy to answer all questions. So throw your questions in the comments. I will answer them, and I'll try and make this episode a weekly fixture. I'll record it on a Saturday, and it'll probably be released on Monday before the market opens in the US, Monday evening. Okay? I can hear Frankie from the other room. Tried to get her down for a nap, and she is not wanting to go down. She can probably hear me speaking, so I'm going to get off this call, and I will see you guys for the next episode. Hope you're enjoying it.